looking here, we're going to find Daniel the prophet. Okay? And we were talking about how he came 600 years plus before Christ. Not only this, because he was also loved by the kings. Okay? At the time he was preaching, once he hit 40 years of age, Allah spoke to him through Angel Jibreel that he has to simply preach to the kings, and he was pretty loved by the kings. Okay, and the prophet's job at that point, okay, he got also like 3 friends with him. Okay, 3 friends with the prophet. Okay, so he was responsible for interpreting and translating the dreams. Okay, he was like Prophet Yusuf. Prophet Yusuf's story, when he dreamt of those 11 stars, and like the moon and the sun are like bound down to him, or like almost prostrate to them, and later on this vision actually came true, because what happened was that all of the brothers, all right, regret finally and eventually what they have done with him. Okay, they put him in a well, and then somebody came by and they took him and they enslaved him, and they started like selling him until he reached to Aziz. You remember that story? Huh? You don't know it? Okay, I might be telling you about it for later. But from one of his miracles, he was so beautiful. You have no idea how beautiful this guy is. Also, so a lot of people would say and would argue that he took half of the earth beauty. Imagine this. That is one of his miracles. It's like a miracle. It's something, that God, he was like gifted. You know what I mean? And he was that's the thing about him, that his father was Yaqub, Jacob, and his grandfather was Ishaq too, his grandfather. You feel me? So Ibrahim, as we said before, Ibrahim was the father of the prophet. He got the sons that Ibrahim got was Ishmael or Ismail and Isaac. Okay? Ishaq. Okay? Ishaq got Yaqub, and Yaqub got Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. Okay? So Daniel was almost equivalent to what Prophet Yusuf experiencing. Okay, he got this thing with him. He was like interpreting dreams, and one day the king was like very pissed at him. Long story short, and then he loved him actually, but he said, you know what? I'm going to put him. I had to put him into the den. All right, and the den had lots of lions and stuff and lioness, but the lions didn't do nothing to Prophet Daniel. Really. He was also protected by an angel, some other people say. Okay, some scholars would argue this. So as you can see, he was like thrown into this den or the dungeon, and there were a bunch of lions here and there, but they never hurt him. Okay, because he's a prophet from God. Okay, he was chosen. He was the chosen one. Anyway, let's carry on. So that was Daniel.
Ezekiel was another prophet during the exile. His prophecies promised a hopeful future. Sometime later, Obadiah delivered.
So Obadiah wasn't mentioned in the Holy Quran. However, Dhul-Kifl was. Okay, but it was a quick mention. So Dhul-Kifl was also a prophet. He is the son of Ayub. Okay, Ayub also had Ayub's story. I think that you're not also familiar with it, but he was very sick for 17 years, and the shaitan, the devil, was always telling him to give up, okay, and to believe in him, and he's going to be cured. But obviously he always rejects the shaitan, and he was very tough believer in God. Okay, He had this divine connection, really very tight with his Lord. Very strong. Look at this.
Heard stern prophecies against Edom, its long-timely urged for the prompt restoration of the Second Temple in Jerusalem. Zechariah, the Hebrew prophet, encouraged Israel's return and the rebuilding of the temple.
By the way, Dhul Kifl, Haggai, Zechariah, all of them were sent to the Israelites. All of them were sent to the Jews, and you know what the Jews did? They never believed in them. That's why Allah was saying in the Quran, غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ. Do you know in this, which surah is this?
No, which one?
غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ. Which surah is this? You don't know?
Fatiha.
Exactly. So in Surah Al-Fatiha, it was mentioned that the Jews, the path that they took is the path that Allah doesn't want them to take, and that's why Allah is like pissed off with them, and Allah is angry with them. غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ. Okay? وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ. The Dallin means the Christians. Okay? It refers to the Christians because they went astray. And do you know what went astray means? Went astray. You're supposed to go here.
Oh, astray? Like astray?
Yeah, astray.
Go somewhere else.
Exactly. You basically lost. You know, you're supposed to go this way in a straight path like that, but you just went this way or that way. Okay? So those are the Christians. Why Allah says this about them? Because they completely forgot about Allah, the Lord, and then they took another path of worshiping you know who, right? Which is completely false, and it's not true.
Turn.
See this now, right?
And the rebuilding of the prophet led the way to the intertestamental
Got it?
period. Zechariah, father of John the Baptist, ushered in the New Testament. John the Baptist prepared the way for Jesus, the central figure in Christianity. In Islamic tradition, Muhammad is considered the last prophet, having received revelations that form the Quran. Those are all the recognized and known prophets in the Abrahamic religions.
What do you think about this? Seriously. Now, I need you to tell me.
It's kind of confusing because it involves prophets from other religions.
I know, but do you know what? In Surah Al-Baqarah, the last three verses, Allah says, لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله, which means that you can't really discriminate between any of these prophets. You can't say that, hey, I love Moses because when he punched this Egyptian guy, he knocked him out and he died. I love how strong he is. You can't say, yes, of course we love how strong he is, and yes, we love Adam because he's the first prophet and first human being to ever walk on the surface of the earth, but this is not the case. The case is that you can't say, I love this than the other. I love this prophet more than I love the other, or I love Prophet Muhammad more than I love Prophet Ibrahim, okay, or more than I love Ismail or Yaqub or Yusuf. You can't say that. Why? Because there is always, and by the way, there is always prophets and messengers, okay, and I already explained what that means. Remember when I said that this whole thing, not every prophet is a messenger, but every messenger is definitely a prophet, okay? There is Ulil Azmi min al-Rusul, and they are 5, okay? Nuh, Ibrahim, Isa, Musa, and Muhammad. And Ulul Azmi min al-Rusul are the very well-known messengers that beard a lot of hardships and a lot of, you know, agony and sadness and, you know, and real tough obstacles in life. Okay, so that was it for today. What do you think? You loved it? What did you learn so far?
Yeah.
Tell me what is the most important thing to you or interesting?
It's how that you can't like discriminate from other prophets.
Mhm. Okay, what else? That's good to know.
How it can all be like traced back,
Hmm?
like the timeline,
What do you mean timeline?
like how it goes back and back and back.
Oh yeah, I love this. Yeah, I love this too because a lot of people would say, "Oh Jesus, oh Muhammad, all of these," but there were so many prophets before them. You notice this? It was mind blowing because they were like 3,000 years BC and 4,000 years BC, stuff like that. So it was like way long time ago. Yeah, I guess you enjoyed today's class.